what was the reason for reaching out to trainers versus players? Is that because you had a relationship with the trainers as opposed to the players? And that was like, you're in.
I did that because of those things. And I was always that guy, like me being a player, I don't want to hit up people and be like, hey bro, like let me pull up, like let me do that. So it was just kind of like the basketball in me, not trying to be like a fan kind of deal, and doing it that way. Like more so, like trainers got more power than people think.
Yeah.
You know, like if they don't really want someone in the gym, they can just kick you out. So like kind of gotta be respectful to them. Because like say I come in as, you know, I'm like the player's videographer, right? I produce like great content, but don't run it by him and don't do things that like help his brand. Like then like what happens? Like he probably gonna be like, nah, like I don't want you to come back. Or if he has multiple players, then he's never gonna invite me. So
that's so interesting.
What did it look like? Because you and Phil are tight, obviously, right?
Yeah.
So were you making some stuff for Phil and you're like, hey, you know, here's this, just have this, like of your, because he doesn't have any content, right? Like Phil's not really getting it. No one's filming
and
Phil.
Phil is one of the trainers,
and he's also the assistant coach of the Lakers.
Yep.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, so like Phil's like, I didn't honestly know how like iconic Phil was, like, you know, and then Phil just started blowing up too. Like I remember he had just finished with the Cavs and then he went to Toronto. Then he won a championship when I got home, when I came back. And then that's when he went to the Lakers in 2019. Yeah,
won
and
another.
I was like, and then won another one.
Crazy.
Right?
Yeah, so it's just crazy, like, you know, just getting advice and stuff from him. Just, and the biggest thing that he told me from day one is that, and the thing that kind of like stuck with me is that he had another trainer whose name is Jordan Lawley, J-Law B-Ball, who's down in where's he in Orange County doing his thing. You've seen his stuff. You have to. He's very big.
He's like this white dude with like the kind of similar hair to me.
Yep.
I went and filmed at his gym actually one time. The nicest dude.
Nicest dude, man. Shout out to J-Law. I love him. It just stuck out to me because he had KD in the gym and he had another trainer with him. And Phil told me always, like, you know, when you have, you know, spread knowledge with the game that you're doing. Like, so when you get good at whatever you're doing, you know, help others. Don't be that person that don't help people, you know, get to the next spot.
I like that.
And like when he told me that, it just kind of like resonated with me, like, you know, forever. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
No, that's why we started this.
100%.
You know?
Exactly.
We had a photographer named Danilo Lewis, and we were talking to him, and he gave us the advice of everything that I'm telling you, all this knowledge and game that I'm telling you on this pod, he's like, it's not for you guys to keep, it's for you to share. And I love that mindset.
Love that.
Another thing I want to bring up is the fact that you were building something for a while, and then you came back and you're like, okay, I finally feel like I have something here. Now it's time to network.
Right.
I think that's so important. I think a mistake people make with networking is they can reach out too early, or they haven't put in their time and built something substantial enough. And then if you like hit someone up like, yo, let's work, or like, can I film? And you're not really at a certain caliber, or haven't really built something substantial, people are like, why would I work with you? But I think it's really interesting that you built something for a couple years, and then you're like, okay, now I have something. Now let's like go to work and network. And then I think that's what allowed you to, you know, get in those, get those opportunities for those open gyms.
What is your thought, since you brought that up, what is your thought about getting paid for work now? Because a lot of people, I see a lot of young people come up and they feel like, yo, like say I like have an opportunity. They're like, how much off the rip?
Right away.
And I'm like, you know, like for me.
Like you hit up someone?
Yeah, I hit up someone.
To help you film?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm like, yo, it's a great opportunity. And then they'll be like, yo, like how much? Which is fine. I think your work, you should get paid for your work. But it's just kind of funny, like when I first started, like, you know, just bringing that up, when you just brought it up, just brought to my mind. I was driving all the way down here from Rancho to Santa Monica every day.
Long drive.
I didn't get paid for nothing. I was just off of like, yo, building a relationship. And, you know, it's cool for me to pay someone. I'm cool with that. But I start seeing like in my mind, I start seeing like, you know, it trickle down to, you know,
the younger kids,
younger kids that they feel like, but you know how many more relationships they can build if they were like, yo, the opportunity is crazy. Like, you know, and there'll be times like, you know, I didn't have enough money to like, you know, get videographer. So when I did, it was for like something big I couldn't go to. So in my mind, I'm like, damn, this player's about to be here. And he talking about how much, like if I didn't pay that person to come down and record that, he would have missed out on a crazy opportunity.
Right.
And that's the only reason why I bring it up. Cause like, bro, like, especially in basketball, trainers and coaches would tell you, man, like it's a lot of free labor at first.
Yeah, the coaches specifically. Oh my god,
coaching.
They volunteer and stuff.
They're volunteering for years and years.
Vocal volunteer started as a volunteer, something like that.
I'm not sure.
But yeah, going off what you said, I feel like it's just like kind of what you said, like knowing where you stand. Like if you're really green and you haven't like as a videographer, like you haven't done a lot of big stuff, you haven't like. You got to get your name out there. And like, I definitely would be like, yeah, I'll like help you like shoot that music video for free or like whatever when I was starting out. Cause like, you know, now if it's like, oh, that's like in my wheelhouse, I've made money making that video. Like obviously I'm going to charge you for it. But yeah, if it's like something you haven't done a lot of before, or you're just like trying to get your foot in the door, like, if you're not paying, like, if you're like, yeah, it's like, you got to know what's the opportunity. And there's still some things I would shoot for free, like literally.
Free work has made me the most bread.
Yeah, exactly.
Free work's made me the most bread. Absolutely.
That's what I wanted to ask.
100%. No, it has. I think that when I started, I told this story last week, but I was when I was at Oregon, I remember I had this job and I got the job at Oregon and I was like, my rate's now $1,000. And a job came to me for $500 and I was like, no, I don't do that anymore. And I called my cousin who's like an ad guy and he's like, how much is in your bank account? I was like, I don't know, like $30. He goes, and you're not going to do the $500 job. Right. And I was like, yeah, I'm an idiot. You're right. I'm going to call them back and apologize and I'm going to do the job. Like, absolutely. And I think that it was just like this huge shift in my mindset of I'm not anybody and I need to like not act like anybody until really, really long time in the future, because it's like, it doesn't even matter if I could go do a job with someone really successful and you're going to learn something from being around them. I could ask them a question that might make me $5 million in the future just from being around a person of said caliber that can, or they'll plug you with someone in their network. You
don't know who's going to
You have no idea when you shake somebody's hand who also they shake hands with when they go back home or whatever. It's insane. And I think that most kids aren't thinking about that. They're like, oh, I need $100. Who fucking cares about the $100 when you could be paid $15,000 in the future from said person? Or it's like, oh, if you do really well for me right now, I'm going to plug you for the next year. And people don't think about that anymore. They're always so quick to be like, how much or whatever.
Yeah. And when you do that, when you're in that mindset, you're not thinking about networking with anybody in the room. I've learned that, you know, from the beginning. There's been a lot of people that I've met. I mean, you know, I don't want to name drop people's names, but I met a lot of people just off of being the person and be like, hey, my name is Jordan. And then I'll have a conversation about some off-whites. And then next thing you know, I'm like, oh, shoot, that's like a big time agent. Like, I didn't know. Like, you know, and like, when you go in the room, like if you just all money, like
totally,
like you're gonna miss out on them opportunities to just network. Like a lot of times when you come into a room, make sure you introduce yourself to everyone in that room, because you don't know what that person is or can become.
Right.
And I think you know, this new generation, I've been seeing, you know, hopefully they can figure that out. But because I see a lot of videographers, I'm pretty sure you do, especially there's so many, and like, you know, the thing like with us, there's so many people that are better than us, but I think the thing that we have over is that we have relationships with the people.
Totally.
That's relationships is everything. We talked about that the other day. It's like, you can make cool shit dope. Like a lot of people can. Can we hang out though on the side?
Right.
Like, can I hang out with you for an extended period of time? Like
after the shoot's done.
After the shoot's done, exactly. And that's like, people are like, oh, yeah, I want to work in the NBA. Like, but would you ask LeBron for an autograph if you got close to him? And people do that. Like, people do that. You know, so you got to think about that. It's like, you just treating him or her like a person, like a regular person, just like you would like to be treated. And I think you'd be surprised at the relationships you're able to build off of that, rather than, like you said, just going straight for it.
I mean, yeah, the networking is just, man, networking is like, I feel like the most essential need, especially with everything that you're doing, because that's how you get there. In my opinion, I feel it's that way. I mean, that opens so many doors, is networking.
Yeah, you just never know what's going to come of a certain relationship. And like going into networking, like trying to quote unquote network, I think is the wrong way, because I feel like that ensues that you're trying to get something out of someone, as opposed to going into it being like, I just want to form a friendship, a relationship, a working relationship with this person, and like not asking them for anything off the rip, and, you know, building that relationship. And then if an opportunity comes of it, great. And it's more natural. And then you get to work with that person.